So just a little bit more about me is that, you know, I try to follow the trends. Okay, so Raleigh did a really good job at introducing me. Thank you for that. And so what I can say is this, is that I generally follow the trend. So when it was the trend to be in the real estate market and that was the place to be, that's where. And when I walked into Forex, I walked into Forex because I knew that was the new place to be. Okay? And since I've been in the Forex market, I've been trading Forex for about 10 years now. I've been a full-time trader for 8 years now. There are things that I discovered along the way that have made me successful in what I do. And more so, there are things that I can really give to you and hand to you. What I can tell you for sure is that all of us have one thing in common, right? And for those who are interested in trading in anything, whether it be E-minis, whether they're interested in stock trading, whatever it may be, you're interested in trading so that you can gain 1, more money, 2, more time, and certainly 3, more freedom. And if you've got one of those 3 or all 3 of them is what you're looking for, and that's exactly what I was looking for when I came into this market and why I still continue in this market. Okay, so what the Forex offers to all of us who are interested in Forex trading is that, number one, it's the most trending market in the world. If you want to do well in the markets, in any market, whether it be real estate, whether it be the stock market, whether it be foreign exchange market, currency market, it's going to be because you want to profit, and most of the profits are made in a trending market. So we just had a huge rundown on on all the currency pairs. The dollar has just strengthened substantially, okay, and that was a big trend. And a lot of money was made there. I've been calling for that since May. So let me talk to you about my blueprint for Forex freedom, okay? Now, I'm going to, if Yana, if you're there, I'd love for you to put the first slide up because I don't actually have it in front of me. Is that possible? I'm going to ask you to put the, so guys, I kind of want to gauge you. You have a little idea about who I am, and what I want to know is who I'm talking to right now, where you are, okay? So what kind of level of trader do we have? And if Yana, if you're around, if you can confirm for me that you actually have that up, that'd be great. Waiting for confirmation there. Guys, hold on one second. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put that up myself. There we go. There we go. What level of trader you are, and I want to get to know you. So in Tribe Forex, my community of traders, we have roughly fluctuating, it depends, we have roughly about 1,000 traders who are in and out of Tribe Forex. And we've had now about 4,000 traders who have come through Tribe Forex and have had some impact with Tribe Forex. We just did a 7-day trial recently where people were able to really get a taste for what we were able to do at Tribe Forex, and it was a week where people actually did well, whether they were a novice trader, whether they were an intermediate trader or a veteran trader. You know, we got to see a lot of they got to see a lot of it. We got to see a lot of those traders, regardless of their level of trading, to make profit with us at Tribe Forex. Okay, so it's good to understand that. So most traders, I go ahead and tell you that generally speaking, there are about, most traders, or the trading community is mostly composed of well, we have 30% novice traders, okay? We have generally 60% of intermediate traders, and we have about 10 to 15% in that vicinity. Now these are rough estimates, okay? In every poll that I've ever done, because I do these on a regular basis, that's what we've had. Okay, so right here we can look at this poll here, and if we're sharing those results, let's go ahead and share that. 56% of you are actually novice, so you've been trading for 0 to 18 months. 29% 18 to 48 months, and you know, then we have actually a larger percent of veteran traders, which is 13% who've been trading for 4 years or more, 48 months or more. Okay, so regardless of if you're a veteran or you're a novice, I'm going to tell you something that a lot of traders, regardless of their experience level, are not able to make a full-time living at Forex. Now, is it possible to do that? Absolutely, it's possible. Are there lots of traders who are doing that? Absolutely, they are. But the question is, what is it going to take you to get to the level where you can actually make a full-time living as a foreign exchange trader? Okay? And this is where I'm going here. You can close that down for me. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you my blueprint for Forex freedom. So when I first started trading, I was a full-time attorney. I'm in Madrid right now as we speak, by the way. But when I first started trading, I actually came over to Madrid to work as a contract attorney. Okay, I was working as an international contract attorney, and I realized that I was going to be in a dungeon for the next decade working for somebody. Okay, else rich, and that was not my plan. That's not the way I wanted life to go for myself. At the time, the firm that I was at had a leg of their firm that was working closely or was supporting a Forex brokerage firm, okay, that worked in the foreign exchange market. And that's where I caught the bug for foreign exchange market. So I spent all of my time working in that area, okay? All of my free time I spent working there. I spent my nights, I spent my weekends studying, and my nights really, working in the foreign exchange market. And eventually what I was able to do, obviously, is, I went ahead and in real estate, I had a little bit of a nest egg, got out, went ahead and started trading full-time because that's what I wanted to do, had some success in trading. And then we had this, we had some changes in the fundamentals of the market. I wasn't using stop losses at the time, lost some money. Okay, and that happens. So then I lost some money and I came back again and I began to program for myself because I wanted to know how strategies work for myself. Okay? And it was during that time that I got the knowledge and the skills that I needed to become a full-time trader. I'm going to share some of that knowledge with you and access to some of those skills with you right now. And I'm also going to tell you my pathway to being able to trade full-time. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So the blueprint for Forex freedom, this is my blueprint. If you guys are seeing my screen, I hope you are. Okay. The blueprint for Forex freedom, the Forex business blueprint. This is my business blueprint. This is how I did it. Okay? And the most important thing in this blueprint is actually getting a trading record. I heard Mark Cuban say on the Shark Tank, I don't know if any of you watched that show, but I heard him say one time, it was a powerful statement. He said that his billions were built from his track record, so that he would take something small and get a good track record from it, show that it worked, that it made money, and then he would find investors and they would give him a lot more money using the same model. Folks, that's basically what we do, right? If you ever have aspirations of being a full-time money manager, then that's basically what you would do. You would take your small money, you would build your track record, and then you would take it out and shop to other people. Now, that's basically what I did. I built a track record, right? I was in the forums, I was all over the place, learning what I learned and sharing with other people, and then some big retail guys in the market caught wind of what I was able to do with my algorithms. I was developing strategies that were automated, and they asked me to speak at a conference, and it was my first conference ever, right? Well, it was actually my first conference ever, and I walked into that room, which was filled with hundreds of people, and I showed them what we were able to do where I was. That was a long time ago. And when they saw what we were able to do, and they saw my track record, and obviously that opened a door for me to be able to speak to them, and that was the beginning of my career. So basically, getting a track record is number one. It's going to be the most important thing you do. And then you're going to leverage your knowledge, leverage your skills to accelerate your own success. So I'm going to say something really radical here and tell you that you really don't need a lot of money to do well in this market. You don't need a lot of market money to get started to create a lifestyle for yourself, the foreign exchange market, okay? You can accelerate your success and create a living for yourself because of the track record that you create. The track record is the most important thing. Now, in this blueprint for Forex business success, excuse me, I've got to turn off my Skype here, obviously. In this blueprint for Forex freedom, for Forex success, I'm going to tell you how you can create that track record as well, how I have done that, and I'm actually going to show you how we do it directly in Tribe Forex. Okay? So why is a trading record or a track record so very important? Well, number one is the most important thing that you need to know is that a track record, a trading record, gives you access to a life-changing quantum leap. Okay? So when you consider this for yourself, that when you have that track record alone, it doesn't really matter what you started with or where you're at. There are guys making a sizable living and making a very big difference just because of the track record they're able to create, because that track record makes people sit up and pay attention. So obviously you're here because you know trading is access. It's access to your own personal growth. It's access to your freedom. It's access to potentially more time or access to more money. In our Tribe Forex, there are many doctors. We've got lawyers. We've got successful businessmen, right, who are part of this. Many of them love their careers and don't expect to get out of it, but what they're looking for is more of one of these three things: more time, more money, and more freedom generally. Okay, and that's what I was able to get for myself. So when you have that track record, it opens up a door for you and it makes people sit up and take notice and pay attention. Now, why do I say this? Because this is obvious, very obvious to many of you. But what is not obvious is that what happens to people, human beings in general, is that we get caught up in actually making more money. So you come into the market and you want to make 1,000% a month, not just you, but just people in general. When I came in this market, I didn't know it was possible. Is it possible to make 1,000%? Absolutely, it's possible to make 1,000%, right? I mean over your entire account. I'm not just talking one trade, okay? Because we do that all the time with one trade. If I put 1% risk on and I make 10%, then I made 1,000% of that, right? I make 10 times my money, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an entire account, right? So when you're in a position, people want to do that with an entire account and they want to do it regularly. The issue is with that is that you take many risks to do that when you focus on the actual money, okay? And it ends up hurting your overall performance. So I'm going to talk to you about performance. I'm going to talk to you about what our system is and how we're able to produce the results that I'm going to show you that we produce. The reality is that people's attention is a rocket ship to your own financial success. And when you really get that for yourself, it's going to open up doors. So if you're the guy and you've got $5,000 and you're thinking that you need to double that money every month to make a living in Forex, or in any other market, I've got another story for you. I think there's another way for you to do it safely, and there's a way for you to really begin your own Forex business. And that's what we do at Tribe Forex. Even if you have a small account, you can make a full-time living if you can produce results, because results are more important than the money. Having $1 million and no skill, I prefer to have $5,000 and a tremendous amount of skill in this market for obvious reasons. Not because I can double my accounts. The average money manager does about, the good ones do about 20 to 30% per annum, because that's what people want to see. In 2012, when I stopped going, when I stopped this program that I was running, I ran it for 8 months, a trading program, live in front of traders, just like this, in a broadcast daily. And either by watching the recording afterward or watching it during the live session, people got to see that same automation take trade after trade after trade. We had a $150,000 account. When we closed it in December, we started in May, April, the end of April, beginning of May. When we closed it in December, it was a $344,000 account. But what we found was that there are many traders who have the software, and we allowed the public in so that they could trade it as well, so they could see the exact entry, they could see the stop loss, and they could see the take profit that the automation shows. And yet, there were some people who still didn't make profit, and that's when I was able to figure out something for myself. And that's what we're going to talk about. It takes more than just a good strategy to produce trading results. And so now I'm going to talk to you about trading performance, because trading performance is what you're here for. If you get trading performance, you can either trade your own accounts, trade accounts for your family, or eventually trade accounts for those around you and really make a difference in their lives and have a fulfilling career as a full-time trader. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you about performance and what I've discovered. I'm actually writing a book right now, and it's called The Trading Performance Triangle. Okay? And basically what I discovered over the years that I've been a part of this and the thousands of traders that I've been able to impact in one way or the other is that there are three components to trading success. So for you to get what you wanted, to get to that place, what I did was I tried to paint a picture for you, okay, before, of what's possible for you. Opening up the possibilities for you, because those are my possibilities, right? Those possibilities are the possibilities that I'm living into right now. So what I was able to do is something that you're absolutely able to do as well and accomplish. So they're actually, to get where you want to go, it's going to take trading performance, and that's where people lag. Okay, that's the area that they really want to have a breakthrough in. So I'm going to talk to you about the breakthrough that we've created at Forex, and why and how you can get to that as well. So the basic overall principles are actually very simple. There's something that we call trading integrity, right? Obviously the strategy and execution. So let me explain that to you. The strategy we know already. Strategy we know it's important. Everyone focuses on strategy. If you don't have a working strategy, you don't have a strategy that makes money, forget about it. You're dead in the water, right? But there's something called integrity that I'm going to talk to you about that's actually extremely important. That's what most traders lack, and that's why they lose money. And then there's execution. And execution, of course, is that which it is, meaning that you have an ability to take the trades as they're supposed to be taken. Now, if you have all three of these components in place, then you're going to have success. That's what I found. That's my own experience. Okay? So let me explain a little bit more and why this triangle is going to be your access to some level of success if you can take this. So here's what you need to understand in using the triangle for yourself. If there is a loss of power in your trading, let's say that you have a sizable drawdown, or it's not working the way that you thought it would, what you need to do is look at one of the three legs of this triangle. Very, very simple. Okay? So if I'm having a drawdown you're going to have a drawdown. No matter what system you're running, you're always going to have a trade or two loss. You're going to have some trades that are losers, right? That's just the way that it is. And if you're not prepared to have a couple losses, then you're in the wrong market, and you should do something else, right? Because you're going to have some losses in any strategy or any kind of experience that you have in trading. So the reality is that when you have a breakdown in your trading, that means that it goes below what you expect it to, or what historically the strategy has done. And you've got to look at one of these three areas of the triangle. So I'm going to start with the most important one, because as I told you before, I ran this system for 8 months. It's been documented. We have YouTube videos. You can probably Google it or whatever else. And definitely it's on our website, tryforex.com, in the main area. But, and the trading history is there as well. What we found is that even though the strategy was sound, had a great win ratio, and obviously went on to make 129.9%, right? And the execution was sound because we used automation. There were some people, and all they had to do was trade with us. That was the structure at 5 p.m. Eastern time when the strategy or the automation would take the trades. There was something that was missing there because both of those components are there. And what is it? It was trading integrity. So I want to share with you what trading integrity is, okay? Because trading integrity is going to make the difference. So what is trading integrity? Trading integrity really means planning your trades and trading your plan. I'm going to go deeper into that and talk to you about what you may have suspected or what you may already know, which is that there's a Forex market maker. We'll get to that in a second. So using, that's the most important part. You've got to plan your trades and trade your plan. That's integrity. I'll get into that because there's more into that. Strategy, of course. You've got to use a high probability and low risk, proven, battle-tested strategy. Okay? And so many people have strategies, and they tell you that they make money, and there's all sorts of gurus out there, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm saying that there are a lot of people who say they make money as traders, and they don't make money as traders, right? And then you get their strategy, and you use it for yourself, and you lose money. And you never really knew if the strategy actually worked in reality, right? So how do you prove that something's high probability and low risk? It's got to be based upon past performance, right? We'll talk about that. And then there's execution, executing flawlessly. What I discovered in my journey was that I didn't want to take trades and sit up in a 24-hour-a-day, 5.5-day-a-week market, and that I wasn't going to be able to because I was going to miss trades. Even with a winning strategy, I ended up not taking every trade that I was supposed to. And some of those trades were the biggest winners. Those were the ones that went off and ran off for 5-6 days. I mean, not closing out and having big time profit, right? 500 pips, that sort of thing when I was swing trading mostly. And that's not what you want. You don't want to be in that position. You have to take every single trade in order to be successful, period. That's according to your strategy, that is, okay? So let's talk about integrity. So here's what you need to know. There's a monster or an FX monster under your bed. True story. That's what I've discovered over the years. So here's a scenario, right? And this is a scenario that I lived in the beginning of my trading career. So I look at the market, I see this great entry, and I'm going to go for I'm looking for a sell, right? I'm looking for a sell, and so, I get these technicals, they're right online, I get into the trade, and it's looking good. I've got my stop loss placed, okay? And then all of a sudden, the market just rockets up on me, opposite my position. And it's going up, and it's going up, and it's rocketing. It's moving fast, and it's moving hard, right? And then I'm thinking to myself, man, okay, this thing's going to stop. It's going to turn around right here at this point. And instead of turning around at that point, it just continues up, right? Now, it hasn't hit my stop loss yet, but it's moving so hard and so fast that I'm thinking to myself, I got to get out of this and save what I can because it's inevitable. It's a sure thing that this thing is going to keep on moving up. And as soon as I get out of that thing, it's as if someone had a joystick and pushed that price down. It's as if they saw my little bitty account of 50 grand at the time, 60 grand at the time, and knew that I was going to get out of the market, waited for me to get out of the market with that loss, and then pushed the market back down where it was supposed to go. In the end, price goes exactly where I thought it would. Another scenario, and trust me, I'm sure that some of you have been there. This has happened because this is what happens in the markets. Any market, forget just currency market. It also occurs in stock market or any other market. Another scenario, same price movement. Another trader, he doesn't see the entry for the sell, but he's watching this thing rocket up, and it's passing these entries, saying, "Oh, it's going to turn back around. I'm not going to worry about it." And then he comes back and he sees it again. And it continues to move up, and it continues to move up, and he says, man, this thing is going to run away. I've got to get into this buy right now. And as soon as he gets into the buy, That guy with the joystick pushes price down, right? Once again, as if he was looking at your little bitty account, right? Whatever it may be. Because anything's itty bitty for a $3 trillion a day market, right? So how's that happen? Are they really looking at our accounts? Not. They are not. They're not looking at our accounts. What they're working off of is human behavior, okay? So they know that when they push price up in a certain direction, they move it hard, and it's not something that some of you haven't heard before, but this is. When they push price up in that direction, they're going to cause you to have these certain emotions, whether it be greed or whether it be fear, and it's going to cause you, a lot of traders, in fact 90% of traders, to get out of the market or get into the market at a place that they never planned to get into in the first place. Human behavior causes us to react. We want to react to things. That's what keeps us alive, is to react to our environment. Unfortunately, it doesn't work very well in the markets. And it causes you not to trade your plan, right? So that is the Forex, that's the FX monster under your bed, right? And then you end up like this guy, because this was me. I was this guy here, right? Banging my desk saying, how's that possible? This guy's after me. This doesn't make sense. You make it all personal, like it's all about you. It's not about you. It's about right action and wrong action. And wrong action in the markets, you cannot react at the time of a trade. You have to have a plan in place. And if you're going to be successful, then you can do that. Now look, doesn't mean that I don't day trade. It doesn't mean that I don't go into the markets ready to make decisions at the moment. What it does mean is that I have a plan before I enter the markets and know how that reaction is going to fit within the construct of that plan, how my reactions are going to fit there. Something to think about. So here's a news flash. You have the power. That's what I've discovered. Okay? Really straightforward and really simple. The Forex market maker has no power unless we give it to him. And our power that we give to him is in our reaction. The same way that when someone yells at you, you want to yell back, or whether you want to withdraw or you want to get offended. It's the same thing. Stimulus turns into of people, human beings in general. So what had to happen for me to be a successful trader at some point was for me to get out of my own way. And when I did that, that was the breakthrough for success for myself. So I'm going to talk to you about the structures that I put in place for my life, which allowed me to do that. Okay? So before I do that, I want to give you another example of integrity. And this is what integrity is. Integrity is doing what you said you're going to do. Okay? And that means trading integrity means, planning our trade and trading our plan and not letting anything stop us from doing it. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example of integrity, and it's casinos. So what we know about casinos is that they're in Vegas, and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Well, the reality of the situation is that that's not, whatever negative stigma there is around Las Vegas and casinos. Casinos do operate with a certain level of integrity. That's the only way that they do what they're able to do. The U.S. gaming industry racks up between $85 and $100 billion per year, and they're not making it off the hotel stays. They're not making it off of the drinks. They're not making it off the shows, okay? Because they're comping all of that. They're not making the money off of that, okay? They're making it off of the transactions. What are the transactions? Gambles, right? As people gamble, they're making it off. They're making the ticks off of that. So what does that have to do with us? Well, the reality of the situation is that the casino, look, you think that you've got to have some new strategy to beat the market. I'm telling you, there are a lot of strategies out there that work. I've tested probably about, I want to say between about 500 strategies over the last 10 years of my life. Specifically, I've tested them on I've put them into programming and I've run them to see how they've worked over X amount of years to determine which ones were the ones I liked the best, right? Some of them worked, some of them didn't work, but a lot more worked than I thought would work. So sometimes it's not your Forex guru who's screwing you. It's, right? It could be your integrity. It could be your trading integrity, right? So there are a lot of strategies that work. The same thing, you don't need a new strategy or a new indicator or a new this or a new that to be successful. I'm going to tell you that. It's the reality. If you get out of that world of something that you don't have, something that's outside of you, then you're going to become more. That's what I had to do for myself. I had to get out of the way of myself and really clean up some things with myself to be more successful. I had to be a master of myself, right? So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that casinos have been around for hundreds of years. This model, at least, right? You watched the old westerns where they had, you know, the gambling ferry boats or whatever they were called, the casinos, right? The floating casinos. And they had the same roulette table that they have in Vegas right now. It was in Vegas just a few weeks ago, right? And the reality is that game has not changed. And many of the games of chance have not changed at all. So what has made the difference for them, obviously, is that there's obviously a probability of success in their direction. The universe is not structured around possibility. It's really structured around the probability of success. Okay? So that game is the same. All they have to do is keep on doing the same thing. Do they stop because one player has a string of winners? There's a big winner in the casino? No, they don't. They turn it up if they do anything. They keep on doing the same thing because the predictable long-term advantage is going to go to the house and they're going to make their money back. But what do? We take a couple losses, and what do we want to do? What do I want to do? The natural inclination for me, I can only speak for myself, is to get out and to stop doing it and go do something else, right? But if you have a strategy that's already working, then that's the worst thing that you can possibly do, but that's what most people do, and that's why they're not successful as traders. So sometimes it's to focus on this one area, and then all of a sudden you become a much more successful trader. Now you can play the game. Not everyone can play the game because they don't necessarily want to master themselves. I personally had to take on mastery of myself to be a successful trader. So when we stop mirroring the gambler and begin to become ourselves with a successful strategy and continually having integrity in our trading, that's going to make the biggest difference. And that's what I found was a missing component for most of our traders. So plan your trades and trade your plan, right? All right, so this is integrity. This is the account that I was talking about. You go on triedforex.com on the home page, just that page itself, Tried Forex. You're going to see, this account is going to detail all the trades. Now, were there drawdowns? Yes, they were. But there's going to be drawdowns in any strategy, as I said before. You can have a perfect strategy that's implemented flawlessly, and that's what I learned from this experiment. And people still lose because they have no trading integrity. When the strategy goes into a drawdown, they get out. And then when it goes back into its string of winners to pass the old equity highs, get to a new high, now they want to get back in. And that's not trading. That's not what's going to work over the long term. So by having this paradigm shift of becoming the house, by getting integrity, it actually allowed us to do three things and that we focus on in Tried Forex. Number one is capital preservation, okay? So we always use stop losses no matter what, all right? We always focus on protecting our capital, preserving our capital. Then there's capital appreciation. I'm going to show you trades and how those trades actually work, okay? Capital appreciation is when you take a tick out of the market. So we at Tried Forex actually take two different positions on every trade. One is what we call a fixed position, and the second is what we call a trended position. Well, we're in the most trending market in the world. If I just took 20 pips out of the market, am I getting the full benefit of the currency markets? No, I'm not. So I'm going to take my tick, right? I'm going to take my 20 pips or whatever it is that the volatility calls for, what calculation the automation we use requires. Take that profit, and then if the market decides to give me more, if it's feeling generous that day, then we're going to take more out of it on the second or trending position. which brings me to the final goal, and honestly the final, really the final benefit, if you will, of being a house, which is allowing for capital explosion when the market is in the mood to be generous, when it's giving you that. All right, so let's go on to strategy, because strategy is important. So I want to talk to you about my strategy, one of the strategies that we employ at Forex. It's actually a very simple system, and that's what I was talking about. Like roulette is a very simple system. It doesn't require a tremendous amount of work, if you will, or intelligence to be a good trader. If you have a good system, it can be time tested and doesn't have to be some new highfalutin type of thing, right? So I'm going to talk to you about our strategy, which is based off of very simple concepts like support and resistance, trending, right? This is the performance over the last 8 months of Forex. So this is actually March, April, May. These are our TradeStation reports. March, April, May, June, July. We had a big month in July, believe it or not, which historically has been a not great month. And up to now, actually, this is how we've done walking into October. This is, updated as of Monday, I believe it is. Okay, so as you can see, we've had, actually May was not that great of a month. It could have been a losing month easily, right? Because the market went back and forth. There were some losses during that month, but we came out on top, barely, right? Now, if you had stopped trading during that month, you wouldn't have gotten that profit, right? If there was a lack of integrity, but the strategy is strong. So I want to talk to you about strategy and what you're looking for in the strategy, okay? These are just the monthly returns up to now. We're up actually we were up 4%. We're actually at 1.6% right now. We had a loss, right? A couple losses, 2 losses actually, in October, just starting. And this is the equity curve, more or less, okay, of Forex. And this is for the euro dollar, okay? And we trade 9 different currency pairs so that you get an idea of what you're walking into. So actually, here is something else. You can actually go to FX Books, and you can see this. We just finished a 7-day trial. And during that 7-day trial, one of our 7-day trialers, or one of our members, took all the trades that we had and ended up with a 21.75% gain. Okay? That gain is currently, he's probably at, I think he's at 20.5%. You can find it on my FX Books. Okay? It's called Forex 7-day trial. You can find it. It's verified by a third party. I didn't come here to give you guys, stories. I came here to give it to you the way it is with real verifiable results, unless it doesn't work, right? So you can go to my FX Books and you can find that there, and we've probably got some other accounts that are there as well. All right, so that's our 7-day trial. That was the last 7 days of trading. Now look, it's not always going to be a 20% gain during that time. It's the market was moving. So I can tell you in September, there's a tremendous opportunity for profit. And when the market trends, there's a tremendous opportunity for profit. We had good trends last week. That's a tremendous opportunity for profit. I don't know about you, but if I get a 20% gain in a month, then I'm good, right? I'm very good. Now, I don't know what the market's going to give us at any given time. That was in a 1-week time period. We don't know what it's going to give us. There's going to be a fluctuation. There's going to be some drawdown, right, at some point. You guys understand that, I'm sure. You've been around. If you're a part of Raleigh's tribe here, then you understand that. You understand what it means to be a real trader. Okay, so this is actually one of the trades that we had taken. This is a video update that we had taken during that time period, okay? And I'm going to show you how we make a decision to get into these trades. So it's actually running right now. And I was going to let it play the audio as I give a breakdown of how that trade looks. But so basically, we had a sell placed at 88.14. We actually got in at 88.04, and you can see this big pin candle here. And the automation, there's actually an automated strategy that's running, got us into this trade. And at the time of this trade, we were already up 50 pips, okay? Maximum favorable excursion. Now, this trade ended up running down for 100 pips. You can check it. That was taken on, I want to say, October 2nd or October 3rd. Anyway, the price was at 88.04 is when we got in on that trade. I think it was a Friday, last Friday. Okay? So tremendous opportunities there that we've been making, and that's what our trades look like. I'm going to show you exactly how we set up for that trade and why we use the automation. Okay? So that's the strategy in action, the actual strategy in action. So there are things in that particular week. We don't always have these kinds of PIP results, but we had these PIP results. We generally have about 300. Depends on it. You can have a negative week, but this particular week we had 738 PIP positive PIP count. Okay, so the maximum favorable excursion of our trades was 738 pips, and obviously to get a 20-something% return, that's what it's going to take to do that. All right, so we have a community of traders. This is actually a clip from our community, and I'm going to show you a bit of that if we have time. I'm going to walk you into Tribe Forex so you can get a feel for what we do. So how do you get a strategy that's that high probability? Because if strategy is one of the legs of the triangle that you have to have, what are you looking for to make sure that you have a strategy that works? Okay? Well, generally I use high time frame strategies. Okay, I don't just trade off the 15-minute, and I found that over time, those are going to break when the market changes. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure people do that, but what I found, my experience is that it's got to be based on the higher time frame. Now we trade off of the lower time frame so we can get leverage, right? So we can have a 1% trade that can run off and make us 5 or 6 or 7% or whatever the market wants to give us. We can make 100 pips on a trade and only risk 10, right? But we use the higher time frame as a context from which to work, okay, to determine the bias of the market and the overall direction of the market. So we use higher time frame strategies, and what they end up doing for us is, the weekly, the monthly, the daily, even the 4 hours sometimes, to make our trading decisions. And what we do is what they do for us is that give us higher probability trades. If the market is moving in that direction, it's more likely to continue to move in the direction it's been moving. If it sets up a reversal in those areas, it's most likely to follow through because it takes so much force to form those signals. So higher probability is what we generally have on a higher time frame. Okay? 2, it relies on lower transaction costs because you're going to be looking for specific things. You're not going to be taking every trade that comes along. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry trade is what I call them that comes along. Higher profit factors and higher profit ratios is what they generally give us as well. Okay? So what do the critics say? Critics generally say that past performance does not guarantee future results. But then we have technical indicators. Now look, past performance does not guarantee future results, point blank. But history does tend to repeat itself, and the markets behave in the future in the same predictable way that they have behaved in the past. Now it's similar behavior. It's not the exact behavior, okay? So can the market turn around and go in a different direction? Can it be different? Yes, it can. But the probability is that price will continue to do what it's done before. So if you have a strategy that works, I would rather have a strategy that works than have a strategy that didn't work beforehand and trade that, if that makes sense to you, right? So if I have a strategy that's had an 80% win ratio and it's been making me money, I'm going to trade that. If I can show over the last year that it had an 80% win ratio and it's been making money, then I'm going to trade that more than I'm going to trade a strategy that I haven't tested and I don't know what it does. I'm going to trade that winning strategy that showed me that it makes money in the past. So really what you need to do is, if you're not doing it already, I'm going to tell you this and be straightforward. For me, what it was when I discovered this for myself, I discovered that strong back-tested results equaled probable strong forward results. I discovered that backtesting should be the bedrock of all my strategy development and my strategy choices. And if you don't have that, where you can't tell what the profit factor of your strategy is, that means for every dollar you risk, how much it's most likely to give you, whether it's $2 or $3. Mine generally fall between $2.5 and $4 for every dollar risked. Okay, it depends on the strategy. But you're going to want to know that. You're going to want to know what the historical drawdowns are. It's going to keep you out of trouble so that you know when you should go back to your performance triangle to know what works and what does not work. So after eye-opening and pocket-emptying lessons, thousands of hours of trading and programming, and really tapping into the technology, is what I really got was that the big money, rule number one, the big money does not look at lower time frames. Okay? The basic concept of any strategy has to look at a higher time frame. That's what I found for myself. Two, it's got to be a consistent strategy. So look, I know there are some trend traders and they don't mind having 20 to 30% winners, and that's fine. But I prefer to have 70, anywhere from 65 to 85% win ratio, right? That's what I want. I want my win ratio to be in there, and I'd rather take a strategy that makes 100%, giving me 75 to 80% win ratio, and take a strategy that returns 1,000% and only wins 20% of its trades. Why? Because I'm not going to trade that strategy. If I've got to wait for those 20% and my account's in drawdown, then I'm not going to trade it. Neither are you. So that's getting back to integrity. What's going to take for you to actually fulfill on the strategy that you have. Number three, it's got to control drawdowns. So that's what I look for. Proper stop losses, risk controls in place. It's got to be adaptable and flexible. It has to be the trending nature of the Forex market. What am I doing in this market if I'm not doing that? I could go trade something else, right? But this is the most trending market in the world, and so that's what I found that I wanted to be able to take advantage of that, not just take my 20 pips out of the market. And number five, it must always use a stop loss. My losses that I took on, that I incurred during my learning phase, if you will, when I first became a full-time trader, let me tell you what I did. I worked with a guru, if you will, someone who was trading, and they were trading really well, actually, to be honest with you. I watched them trade. I traded on a demo. It made money, and then I went live with it. Okay, so picture this. I'm going live with this thing with their strategy that I'm using, right? But they're not using stop losses. And we're having win after win after win. I mean, I'm living off of my money. It's great, right? I'm making 10, 20%, 30%, even 40% gain in very short time periods. It was great. I just had to wait for the market to come back. And then all of a sudden, the market shifts, the strategy breaks, and I still have no stop losses. My guru doesn't really know it yet, that the strategy is broken. And now everybody in our group is looking for the guru, and the guru is nowhere to be found. They're not answering texts, emails. They're not answering anything. They're not on the forums posting, nothing. They're gone. And so is the money. And when they come back, it's because there was no stop loss. They didn't tell us what to do, had no clue what to do. Now you're down 20, 30, 40%. Stop losses, what I discovered for myself during that time, because when I got through that and actually hit the close button of those trades, I laid in bed for like 3 days, and I didn't want to move. And then I said, okay, I'm still alive, and I got back to work. And the one thing I kept for myself was that I'm always going to use a stop loss no matter what. And that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned. So what do I know? I know that these rules work. How do I know they work? I uncovered them studying every tick of the market. I automated and back-tested them to effectively identify high probability trades and optimize their execution for the greatest profit. That's how I know that this particular thing works. So I've just talked about execution. I'd like to get to that. So this is actually where I'm going to go. So some people say manual versus automated trading, or discretionary versus automated trading. I say discretionary and automated trading. So people ask all the questions, and one of the objections to automated trading is, yeah, but I hear that automated trades break, that EAs break. For me, I agree with you, because even when I did fully automated trading, I still always had to update the software every few months to keep my my users online and keep the thing working every few months, and sometimes if I got lucky, once a year, right, on a strategy. But what I discovered for myself was I didn't want to do all that. The best trading I could do and the best way to determine where the market was going next was by using the gray matter between my ears. And it was simple. I could do it in 10 or 15 minutes a day, and that was the best thing. Now, where does the automation come in? Well, guess what? I got to sleep. We have a 24-hour a day, 5.5-day a week market. And sometimes with my winning strategy that I knew won, I would fall asleep right before I was supposed to click the button. And I would wake up to what would be profits that I should have taken. Or I'd have to spend time with my family, or I should spend time with my family. Or I just wanted to do something else, because for a while there, I forgot about why I was there. I was there for freedom. Didn't get more time. I was spending too much time in front of a chart. That's not what we got into this, right, guys? So what I discovered for myself is that by putting discretionary trading together with automation, that I actually got the best of both worlds. So what's automation? Having machines accomplish what is wholly or partially performed by human beings. So this is what it looks like for us. I checked for the trade call levels at 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time, right? So that's after the European session is closed. I'm sorry, the New York session is closed. And we actually put them inside this section of our website where our traders can find it. And then we simply place a horizontal line on our chart at what we consider to be the optimal level, hit the auto buy or auto sell button. And this is obviously a time-lapse trade, right? So that you can see how it works. So what happened here, if I can go back a little bit, guys, remember when I talked to you before about taking advantage of both sides of the market, both the trending and also the, taking those ticks out of the market so that we could have capital appreciation? Well, that's what I was going to show you here. Okay, so when I place that line on the horizontal line on the chart, I'm going to place it on the chart, and then the market's going to get there when it gets there. Okay, I'm not around anymore. I don't need to be there. It gets into the trade. You can see that quickly, actually, it hits my stop loss. So I've got or it hits my take profit, I should say. So that's where we take profit. You can see that green line. That's actually our take profit point for the first trade. Now above here, there's a red line, and it's for our stop loss. Okay? When the market comes in this vicinity and meets other criteria, because we have an intelligent software, right, that's going to look for high probability entries. Okay? And when it meets that criteria, it gets into the trade in that vicinity if all the criteria is met. There's a take profit here. Okay? Now, if I just got that take profit, I would have made, I don't know, 30, 40 pips, which would have been great. It would have been a great day in the market. But that's not enough, is it? So you can see how the market slams down. The market slams down, and it gets us into a second position, because what's going to happen now is that you're going to automatically have remorse. See, that's what I have when I take a trade. So what generally happened before I started using this methodology of using two positions, a trend position and a fixed position, is I would get upset because I took profit, but then the market continued to run down for another 100 pips after I got my 20 or 30 pips or whatever it was. Okay, so maybe that's just me, but I'm pretty sure that's you too. You're happy that you made profit, but then you watch all that profit that's being made by the market and you don't get in on any of it, right? So to avoid that, one of the tricks that I use that you now have is to use two positions. I break that 1% into two 0.5% positions, and I will let, when the market hits its first take profit, it's going to hit that profit target. And what it's going to do is it's going to move that second position to break even. So now I have no risk on the trade. And then it's going to continue to move down. And it's going to trail the stop. And you see the trail, you see the stop being trailed, continue to move down, protecting profit, getting us into more profit, and this is actually what we call capital explosion. Because this trade, which was good for 1% gain, now becomes, or 1 or 2% gain, now becomes a trade that's good for 10% or more, which is a substantial gain. Which was good for, 20 pips of profit is now good for 100 or more in profit, right? Or 200 pips or whatever the market gave us that day. Okay? So think about that, and maybe that's something that you can use. So the benefits of automation obviously are many. Number one is it helps me. It's another structure that I put in place to make sure that I take the trades that I'm supposed to, that I increase the integrity of my own trading, right? So it gives me consistent control of my trades, removes emotion, right? I can back test the results, and it frees me from the computer. I don't have to sit in front of the computer all day. It also gets into the trades seconds so that I don't have to get into the trade myself, figure out what my stop loss is going to be, my take profit, or figure out how many lots I've got to use to get to my percentage risk. Okay? So it does all that for me. And by the way, this strategy obviously, as you've seen here, what did it do? It analyzed the market, got us in at the optimal level, right? It managed the trade as well, determining our stop loss and take profit to break even. It moved it to break even, and then it got us out at an optimal level. Okay, did we get every single pip that this move had to offer? Absolutely not, but we got a lot more than we would have gotten. That's for sure. So discretionary trading was something obviously that many of you do, especially the veterans here. And why do I believe in discretionary trading, even though I am known as an expert in the field of algorithmic trading, right? In automated trading. It's because there's nothing that's going to do better, and I have literally programmed hundreds of strategies. There's nothing that does better than the gray matter between my ears, my brain, right? So I'm easily adaptable to the market. Discretionary trading makes us easily adaptable to the market and have an ability to quickly make changes during different trading conditions. We attain the market feel, and we have an ability to trade better, okay? So here's my blueprint for success. This is what it looks like, okay? Now the next thing for you to do that's important, because I'm obviously running out of time here with you, is that you've got to develop your own trading record, okay? And you can do that with Tribe Forex in the next 30 days and really begin there. Now look, if you had a week or you had a month where you made 20%, would that be the kind of trading record that you want? Probably. Is that what we did, this last period? Yeah, absolutely, we did that. Is it something that I can guarantee will happen next month? Absolutely not. I can't. We don't know what the market's going to give us, but whatever it gives us, we're going to be prepared to take advantage of it as best as possible with all three legs of the triangle, right? So that's what you want to do, because once you get that track record in place, what we do at Tribe Forex is we show you what to do next, because what we're here for is not just to be good traders. We're actually here for a lifestyle change. We're here for more time, more money, and more freedom. And if I don't give you that in what we're doing, then I haven't done my job, because that's what you're here for. Trading is fun. It's a great video game that we get to play. For people who are like, you're probably like me. This is why I call it Tribe Forex, because many of the people who are in my tribe are really just like me. They're pretty smart people, professionals, out-of-the-box thinkers, right? And they know exactly what they want, and they're going right to it. They're forward thinkers. That's why they're in this market. That's why they're traders, okay? They want to live wherever they want to. I've lived in, I lived in Madrid, obviously. I continued to live after I left the firm. I've lived in France, decided I was going to learn a language. I speak 3 languages now. I mean, I've lived wherever I wanted to, traveled to 40 different countries. I mean, I've been able to do that. And it's probably something in there that you'd like to do, whether it be to help someone travel wherever you want to, or just have someone not tell you how much you're worth or where you can live, right? So that's my tribe. You're probably a part of my tribe in one way or another. That's why I call it Tribe Forex, because we are probably very similar human beings, right? At least in the core of what we want for our lives and how we operate in that realm, if you will. So getting back to it, the blueprint for my Forex success was really developing a track record, and that's what I help tribe members with, okay? By putting up my trades every day, giving them software, the structures that they need to be successful in that area, giving them a strategy that works, giving them the way to have perfect execution through the automation, and then putting structures of a tribe, people around them who are taking the very same trades, right, with the same mentality. It gives them structure to plan their trades and to trade their plan. Now, when they see other people making money and they don't because of something, it's actually positive reinforcement for the things that they should be doing, right? You don't want to see your friend running off and making money. You can friend the people in your in tribe. You can have relationships. We actually have. I just came back from England, where I had a meetup with some of the guys from there. They are forming a group to regularly meet up in England. You know, so you have that kind of structure in place to make sure that you stay on target. Okay, and so that's one of the structures you put in place for that. And then when you have your results, it's just about sharing. That's what I did. I just went to forums and shared my results and shared my trades with other people, shared it with people in my life. And I tell you what, people just wanted to give me their money. People do all the time. People are always asking me. They see my car, they like my car. They like who I am. They like my lifestyle. Really, they like my lifestyle. And they're always trying to give me money. And I don't have to ask for it. And it's easy to be that kind of person. And you can turn people down. And it puts you in the driver's seat when you have a track record. Now, that track record can obviously pay for your living, but more importantly, it's a track record that attracts people to you and puts you in the driver's seat as far as what you want to do for the rest of your life. Now, I had a poll that I'm not going to put up, and it was for people who would consider being money managers. And what Raleigh said earlier was that I've created money managers. I've created some people who've gone on to manage money internationally, right? And the reality of the situation is that, you know, it's not that difficult because it all comes down to right action. That's all it comes down to. If you do what I do, then you're going to be able to get the same results that I get. That's the whole point of automation, the whole point of a system. If you follow the system, you'll get the same or similar results, right? Now, I can tell you what we've done in the past. I don't know what it's going to look like in the future, but the probability is, as we talked, that if we've had decent results in the past like this, that we're going to have similar results, and that's how I've lived and walked my career this entire time. Now, what I do at Tribe Forex is that I give you step-by-step guidance on how to leverage that track record once you create it. So the guy who created this 21.75% return during that time, he's developing a track record. All right, and he's given us a testimonial. If you go on one of our pages, you're going to see it. And he says that people are already trying to offer him money. He's a newbie. He's been trading for a few months, period, across the board. Never traded before. Military guy, okay? Never done anything like this in his life. But now he's wondering what he can do with his track record as he's developing it to make for himself a career. And there's a career there, because if you have the skill set to help people the way that you know I'm helping you, and the way that people are that people want, then that opens doors for you in ways that you haven't seen. So guys, here's what we come down to, because I'm running out of time. I know that they've given me a time frame to really talk to you. So here's reality. You can go to MyFX Books. You can see the results. Check out Tribe for yourself. All right, and this is what I told the group who actually did our 7-day trial. There are no more excuses about why you don't have success. I didn't have any more excuses about why I didn't have success. I had to take action. Right? No more stories about how time and money hold us back from our own dreams. I had to get over those for myself. First world problems. Oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, I've got to use the money for something else, right? If that's the case, then give up on whatever you're doing. Go do something else. Because if time and money is holding you back now, it's always going to hold you back. I've shown you a model where you don't have to have a lot of money to work on building your track record. Now, I didn't say this, is that this model, what he did was 5 minutes per day. He went on the website like you saw, got our trade calls right off that little section that I showed you before, and then he simply put lines on the chart and hit auto buy or auto sell. That's it. And if you can do that with 5 minutes a day, if you can't give 5 minutes a day to your life and to your success and to your freedom, I don't know. I know I can. I know that I do, right? And there are tons of other traders who do it right now with us at Tribe Forex. So we don't need it. First world problems, oh, we don't have enough time, we don't have enough money. Well, if we have dreams and we want to achieve them, then we can get past that. And I'm giving you access to that. Right? So just as I said, it takes 5 to 10 minutes per day to trade with Tribe Forex. Just get my trade calls and then put a line on the chart. It will take it when it's time. All right? And you can go to sleep. I'm sleeping more than I have in a long time. You can ask the people in my life about that, my family. Tribe Forex is actually here to give you access to financial freedom. And Yana, if you can put that. And besides that, guys, what's important to know is that we actually have a 30-day money-back guarantee, right? So you can trial Tribe, you can build your track record, and let's say that you get that track record that you want, and you make 10% or 5% or whatever the market's going to give us this month. I don't know, right? Let's say that you make your percentage, and you still decide, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Give it back to us. Refund within your 30-day trial.
Hey,
that's it.
You've now had a taste of what Tribe Forex
back because we want people who want to be a part of Tribe. It's a community. So we have positivity there. We reinforce each other. People support each other. Senior traders give other traders, give the brand new traders support. We don't even have to. And we also have a section on the website that actually you can get to. You can actually get live support right there on the spot, okay? Live chat. So let me show you really quickly. So I think that Jana's just put it up on the screen. I'm actually going to show you really quickly what Tribe Forex looks like. Okay, guys, really quickly, this is what Tribe Forex looks like when you come into the website. All right, so it looks like you've got an orientation video here. You've got the last daily market analysis that I do every single day, Monday through Thursday anyway, for trading. You're going to see all the trade calls. This is the Forex trade signals. You're going to see that. And you're going to see the past ones, and they're going to be color-coded in green if we won them, red if we lost them, in yellow if we broke even on those trades. And I give you all of those trades for yourself right there, okay? You're going to also see, you're going to be able to post whatever you want. It's like a Facebook application where you get to post to whoever's in, you know, you can post and say, hey, look, I've got an issue. I didn't get that trade. Or I think I don't understand, you know, how the software works or something. And one of our support reps will get back to you, or generally the community itself supports each other. We have a live trading chat. We actually have a live trading session that we do every single week, so that even though we don't need to take the trades personally, for people who want to just be in a room and ask as many questions as they want and see the trades taken live. Okay, so we'll do that during the London session and the New York session. You can see here, this is the equity curve that's up right now. It's currently at 20.25%. I told you that we had a loss that brought it down from 21.75 to 20.25% profit there. You can see all the members. We've got a ton of members. You can see all the screenshots that are placed on by different traders. Okay, you can go to each trader's page if you want to. You can see what they're up to, and you can actually add them as your friend. We have a messenger Everyone's got their page. You got a messenger where you can get to all the traders. There's so many traders here. And on top of it, guys, we actually have an FX training center where you get training. You get to learn how these trades are taken for yourself. Okay? You get all the software downloads, quick start guides to get you up and running in 10 minutes or less. If you've never taken a trade before in your life, you want to know how to do that, we've got the brand newbie training section. We have our FX Ultimate Trading course, so you can learn how we've been able to get these kinds of results in the past and learn the system for that. We have FX Continuing Education, where we highlight certain things such as the, it can be, candlestick patterns or support and resistance or whatever's important to people at that time, trade signals, daily market bias, that sort of thing. So we've got everything there waiting for you. Click on whatever you want, and it's actually going to pull it up. Try to explain is there as well. We explain what a pod is, and pod is really fundamental to our system. Those are points of decision where the market makes a decision. And you can talk to me directly. I love that part. And you can also, in the lower left-hand corner, there's a live support tab. And so we have live support that's there almost around the clock, right? And they will answer any question you have. So you click on that, and then they will take care of that, troubleshooting, the whole nine, right? So this is what Forex is. It's actually access to your trading track record and to really a breakthrough in your life, if that's what you're looking for. More so, it's an opportunity